Back to my channel, Dr. Rajiv Sikroria Talks. Now in today's session we will discuss about the market and market structure. So the learning objectives for today's session are to study different types of market. Then second objective is to classify the different types of market and the features of market.
Start.
So what is market? Actually, the market is a place where buyers and sellers meet on regular basis for the exchange of goods. So here the consumers interaction is regular, and the place is actually very important. The place here means the virtual place also. It is not only the marketplace in a physical form. We are also discussing the virtual marketplace, and the regular interaction of the buyers and sellers is very important. Suppose somebody is coming in the night and the market is closed. So in that case, even though the marketplace is there, but the consumer is also there, but the seller is not there. In that case, it will not be considered as a market. And the third important characteristic is there is voluntary exchange of products with the money. So this is the definition of the market. Then the classification of the market, how the markets can be classified. So on the basis of first classification is based on the geographical classification. So on the geographical basis, what happens? The market will be decided on the basis of geographical location, like the northern India market, southern India market, western India market, and eastern India market. And it is all about the geographical placing of the markets. Then for the economic analysis, we have the time basis market, that is on the basis of short run market and long run market. So in this and very short market. So this will be based on the pricing. Then second is on the basis of the regularity. Regularity means that some markets are on the regular basis, they are established on the regular basis, and some markets are you can say some markets are like weekly markets or the hearts, and they are temporary markets. So they are again on the basis of the regularity. If they are the regular one, they will be set as a permanent market, and some markets may not be the regular one, they are on the weekly or temporary basis. Then next one is the physical basis. On the basis of physical market, we can have the physical located market and the virtual marketplace, as we can see the different websites for e-commerce. Then on the competition level, it is very important part. It is for the economic analysis. Here the competition level will be based upon the perfect market competition or perfect competition, and ranging from perfect to the monopoly. So these are the two different extremes whereby the perfect market is there and imperfect market. In the perfect market, all the things will be assumed up perfectly. Everything will be fine. Everything is very perfect, and the degree varies to imperfect level of competition. And in the imperfect competition, we have the three important types of the market competition. One is the monopoly, then another is the monopolistic competition, and third one is the oligopolistic competition or oligopoly. So let's discuss about the perfect competition and its features. So actually this perfect competition concept was laid down. This is John Robinson, and she gave certain features for the perfect market. So first feature of the perfect market is homogeneity of the products or the homogeneous products. Actually, in a perfect market, these are the idealistic situation. Perfect market is a idealistic situation. In real market, it do not exist. But the homogeneity is a condition whereby all products are alike, they are similar, they are concurrent, and there will be no product differentiation. Suppose a company the market makes the mobile. So for every manufacturer or the producer, mobile means mobile. For the consumer also, the mobile means mobile. There will be no branding at all. All features will be same. All mobiles will be same in color, size, and everything. So there will be no product differentiation. That is very important characteristics. Hence, we cannot go for the price discrimination. Second feature is that very large number of buyers and sellers exist in the market, and they meet to the infinity. That's why the curve is horizontal to the x-axis. So what happens? Very large number of buyers and sellers are there, and they make the market. In that case, nobody will be in a situation to have any bargaining power. Then next feature is the free entry and exit. any firm can enter any time and can exit depending on the willingness of the company. So in that case, any firm is not restricted by law or anything. Then next feature is again important, perfect knowledge of the market. Buyers and sellers have perfect knowledge about the market, about the price, about the product they can purchase, and uniform pricing is there, so there is no problem at all. You can come and you can have the perfect knowledge about the market. This next feature is the absence of transportation cost. Actually this happens because if the market is homogeneous, the market is having a lot of the buyers and sellers, and everybody is producing the same product, so how the transportation cost arise? In all the market the cost will be same, production cost will be same, as well as the pricing will be same, so there is no transportation cost. Last feature of the perfect market is perfect mobility of factors of production, which says that all factors of production, say land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship, all are perfectly mobile. They have no problem, they can be moved from one place to another. So I have already told that these assumptions are very unrealistic, and they put the idealistic situation to the people. Then the next form is the oligopoly market. In a oligopoly means what oligopoly means? Oligo means few and poly means seller. So few sellers market is defined as the oligopoly market, and in this we are having the typical market which is known as the duopoly, and in that case the duo means two and poly means sellers. The two sellers market is termed as the duopoly market. So in a oligopoly we have the oligopoly market and duopoly market. Then the oligopoly can be the pure oligopoly and differentiated oligopoly, depending on the whether we are making the same product, all the sellers are making the same product. In that case it is the pure oligopoly, and if the sellers are making the different products, that will be the differentiated oligopoly. First property is that competition among the few firms. Only 2 to 10 sellers are there, so firms are having for very less firms are there in this type of the market. Then types of oligopoly, I have told that oligopoly can be differentiated, it can be the pure oligopoly. And in a differentiated oligopoly we have the following features. First feature is that interdependence of the firms, that firms are highly interdependent, they are dependent on each other on the pricing and output of the firms in totality. Then second feature is advertising and selling cost, an important determinant. It is very important part. Whosoever is having high selling advertising, whosoever can advertise more, they can. So the king demand curves are existing in the duopoly market. So in a duopoly market, two firms are there and they face the two demand curve. One is more elastic demand curve, another is the less elastic demand. So king is meant to at the king there is a joint of the two demand curve. Then monopoly is the next market form. It's a market structure whereby mono means single and poly means seller. Single seller market. So in a single seller market there will be only one seller who will sell the product, but there will be many buyers also. Then there may be sources of monopoly who can sell the product, and in that case the mobility of the factors of production is limited. Then ignorance is important factor. The consumers are also ignorant, as well as the seller is having high dominance over the market. Then indivisibilities of the factors of production are there. So labors and capital cannot be differentiated by the monopolist. And finally, deliberate policy to exclude competition. So deliberately the competitor, the monopolist don't want the new players to come in the market, and he must have to enjoy the monopoly. Then our Indian laws have restricted it. We have the Monopolistic Restrictive Trade Practices Commission 1969, which is known precisely as MRTPC, and Competition Act promotes the competition among the buyers and sellers. So we don't want any monopolist to exist in the market. Previously in India we had the railways as a monopolist, and the electricity department was also the monopolist. Now we have the monopolistic competition. See, the seller, single seller is known as the monopolist, and it's different from the market whereby the monopolistic competition is there, and in a monopolistic there are large number of buyers and sellers, but they are less than perfect market. So large number of buyers and sellers are there, so their demand curve is more elastic, but it is not as the perfect market competition. Then product differentiation is very important here. All the monopolistic players, all the competitors make the different product, and the product may be same, but they have the brand differentiation. So pseudo discrimination may be existing in this market. That's why the role of advertising, role of sales promotional activities play very important role in determining the sales and output of the product in the market. Next feature is that free entry and free exit exist in the competition and in the market, whereby any player can come and exit the market as the perfect market, but it is limited by the average cost of the firms. So legally they can come and go out, but if the firm is incurring losses in long run, this firm cannot exist in the market, it has to exit. Then the conditions of profit, loss and supernormal profit exist in this market. So the players can incur the losses, they can have huge profits, and they can go for the normal profit also. Then last condition is the marketing cost is very high. Since the product differentiation may not be the real one, it may be created because of the brand differentiation. In that case, every company, every firm has to go for advertising and marketing, and this cost will be very high for any player to come in the market. So in today's session we have discussed about the market forms, market definition and classification of market, their characteristics. Now in the next lecture we will discuss about the pricing and output under the different market in short run as well as in the long run. So thanks for watching, keep watching and please subscribe the channel.